I was once stuck and frozen too. Greatest superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people.
All right, welcome to The Real Raw, a place where we get to see and experience how influence is a superpower. The Real Raw is like a combination of speed dating meets Shark Tank, meets TEDx and TED Talks, all wrapped into one. And the best of all those things. And it's not any of those things, but yet it's the best of all those things. It gives people the opportunity for a stage and a microphone to form ecosystems, to make more money in less time with more magic, all with the use of the formula, which Sean Callagy curated for the past 23 years. Sean Callagy is an entrepreneur, a national speaker, a philanthropist, one of America's top trial attorneys, and he is the chief visionary officer of Unblinded. And although he is blind, he is here to unblind us in integrity through micro distinctions, how we can all go from hello to yes in any role we play in life. And leaders can influence leaders and make the world a more heart-centered place and an amazing place to live and to be and to do business and explode in love and kindness and make the world a better place, like I said. So welcome all of you. It is amazing to have you all here. I am Gina, the host for today. And I am just so excited to see all these amazing faces and this great energy. And we have Anil, who has a big heart. Oh, he's a big heart right there. I'll let you go with that, Anil. So so welcome to all of you. And of course, we have the amazing Adam Gugino. So let's see. How about I start with introductions with our beautiful woman who's got the lotions. I mean, maybe not lotions, potions, maybe some lotions. I'm not sure. So welcome to Anita Wallace. Anita is a vibrant, loving, proud single mother of 4. She's a healer, a perfumer, based in Laguna Beach, California. She has been an essential oil, now we know what the potions are, and holistic remedy practitioner for many, many years. COVID gave her an opportunity to reinvent herself. She stuck with her passion for pure qualities of life when she joined James Conti as co-owner of the fragrance boutique, Pure Perfumery. Amazing. She now specializes in creating custom pure fragrances with an emphasis on enabling people, potions, on enabling people to make the most powerful first and last impressions possible. Divinely led and humbly chosen, Anita goes from healing people to empowering people daily. You can find her in Laguna Beach on any given day of the week, lending a listening ear and spreading positive vibes to everyone she meets. Amazing. And I can just see that amazing positive energy just bouncing right off of you to all of us. Thank you so much for being here and having some fun with us today, Anita. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next up, we have...
Real quick with Anita, do we have a fun fact? Another one?
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
No worries. I'd love
Thanks, Adam. Yeah, do we have what's a fun fact about you, Anita?
The fun fact, my assistant said to tell you this. I'm originally from Texas, but my love for the beach keeps me here in Laguna Beach, California for long enough that I am now considered a Texafornian.
Wow, a
Texafornians are in the house.
That is fun.
Texafornians. So sorry, guys, I was on another Real Raw, which was super interesting. We were having Colombian drug cartel role plays with one of America's top 100 criminal defense attorneys. But sorry about that, guys, and sorry to interrupt. So I know we have a remarkable crew today. I'm super thankful. Again, forgive my tardiness. Gina, have we begun introductions?
We just got through one. We have the amazing Anita Wallace. She was our first one. She is the Texafornian.
Yes, I heard Texafornians are in the house. Anita, thank you so much for being here today. And was that your fun fact that you're Texafornian?
That is correct.
All right. Well, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Gina.
Yes. And so next up we have Brian Gennesco. Brian is a contestant with us today. He's the CEO and founder of New Kitchen, a direct-to-consumer prepared meal delivery service, which paved the way for the now $1 billion plus industry. Wow, incredible. Brian is now the co-founding CEO of Unbelievable, the purpose-driven baked goods company that's combating the hunger crisis, one cookie at a time with a buy one, give one model. And they're so good, Brian. Those cookies are delicious. Oh my God.
Did you try one?
I am a gluten-free girl, so I have the gluten-free ones, but
Okay, yeah.
they are really good. Yeah. Yes. I bought a box at Unblinded event in January. So yes.
Oh, okay.
They are, in fact, Gina, they are unbelievable.
They are 100% unbelievable. Unbelievably delicious. I eat too many of those cookies, but my kids love them, so they're delicious. Love it. So this is, and it's a purpose-driven baked goods company, which is amazing. So you buy one and you give one. I can't wait to hear more about that. Backed by Ideal Lab, Tony Robbins, and Michael Loeb, they're building a scalable direct-to-consumer platform to sell baked goods with a mission to end hunger in the most delicious way. And as a member of the advisory board for Sparks and Honey, the tech-led consumer intelligence agency, Brian provided business model innovation insights to help companies address and navigate changing cultural trends. Also, he was recently named by Business Insider and PitchBook as one of the most influential LGBTQ entrepreneurs for co-founding Start Out, the leading global nonprofit dedicated to fostering entrepreneurship in the LGBTQ community. Incredible.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, it's totally, I was like, oh.
Well, Brian,
I think I got it right. Did I get it right?
Wait, you know what? I'm all for just make it smaller. Q, just call it Q. I don't know.
So Brian, welcome, brother. Love you being here. You know, it's so interesting when I first encountered the space of Unbelievable, and you and Kuda, I was like, oh, these are really cool guys, and I had no idea of your entrepreneurial backgrounds, your brilliance, your expertise, and it has been a pleasure to get to know you and to watch what you've done with Unbelievable, and where this is all headed. So welcome, my friend, and it's a pleasure to have you here today.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really want to acknowledge that because being part of Tony's ecosystem initially and meeting you and now getting to do this today, it's pretty incredible. And I'm very excited by the journey on, both personally and professionally. So I'm excited to unpack what's about to happen in the next hour.
Absolutely. And how about a fun fact from you, Brian?
Okay, fun fact, a notable fact. I am a certified Kundalini meditation and yoga instructor. I'm not sure if that's more interesting than fun, but similar to you, Anita, I really believe in how we can keep ourselves elevated through breath and whatnot. And that is what keeps me going through much of the chaos that we are experiencing in society right now. So it keeps me smiling and happy and positive and looking to embrace new opportunities.
And you're glowing. You are absolutely glowing. So
because I've got the heart behind me. See, I love you. I love you in all these different languages. But maybe, okay, real quick, maybe maybe something a little bit more. I'll share something that's personal and it can't go out of this room. So
Perfect.
When I first came to New York, I took a bus and I arrived to the Port Authority. As one of those sort of stories you just hear, literally a suitcase off the bus. And I needed to get rent money, and I had just gotten a job at a financial services firm, and they had an opportunity here. I could make rent money, $500 for who could ever eat the most Big Macs in 30 minutes. I know this is disgusting, but I ate 6 Big Macs in 24 minutes and 20 seconds, and I won that $500.
Wow.
So
yeah, look, Brian, my love for Brian, which I didn't think could get much higher, has grown 10x in the last 5 seconds. So Brian, we are loving the Big Mac consumption.
I will never do that again. I will not eat that kind of meat. But at the time, I just, I wanted to balance my interesting fact with something a little less savory, but fun.
Really fun. And awesome. I wonder how you felt after that.
I didn't throw up, and no, actually, it was surprisingly fine.
Huh?
Extraordinary. Well, Unbelievable is in the house. Gina, we have by the way, the peanut butter Unbelievable cookies are just off the charts. They are incredible. But I have a whole bunch coming to our ecosystems everywhere. Unbelievable cookies are about to flood the world. Yes, so we'll talk more about that. So Gina, yeah, there's more.
There are more. All right. Next up, we have Al Nardi. Welcome, Al. Alfonso Nardi joined MTBC in May 2017 as a legal assistant and later served as director of compliance and contracts through his appointment as senior vice president of strategy in March 2018. Mr. Nardi has a background in banking, legal compliance, and strategic marketing. Mr. Nardi received his BS in legal studies, a JD MBA with a focus on finance, and holds a certification in U.S. privacy law. And would you share, well, let's see, your fun fact with us, Al? And is it okay if I call you Al?
Absolutely. It's a lot easier to remember.
Yes.
Fun fact, the only thing I could think of last night was why I like to travel by air so much. And that's because when I was in law school in Rhode Island, I worked at a firm in Connecticut and lived in New Jersey. So my commute weekly was 1,000 miles round trip for 3 years. So I'm happy to get on a plane anytime, anywhere now versus drive any day of the week.
Extraordinary. Well, Al, welcome. It's a pleasure having you here today, and super thankful and very happy that you prefer air travel to 1,000 miles a week of driving. So welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Right. And by the way, Al, you are not a Colombian drug dealer. Is that true?
That is true.
I'm sorry, that was the last row. Yes, thank you. Yes. So what is happening, Gina? We have more.
We have more. Our judge, Thomas LaGreca. Tom.
Tom LaGreca is in the house.
Hey, Sean.
Welcome, Tom. Tom, born in Bronx, New York, was the fifth of 10 children. His perseverance and work ethic were largely shaped by his upbringing in a large family that was fed by his father's small butcher shop in the Soundview section of the Bronx, where he worked on Saturdays and summers from about the age of 7 years old. Wow. Tom attended Pennsylvania.
Gina, can I interject a little tidbit there?
Absolutely.
And I think you guys will appreciate this, but I came from a big family, and we would start working, the boys at least would start working in the butcher shop from when they were 7. And when you were 7, you became the assistant delivery boy, because the 9-year-old was the senior delivery boy. And my father would send 2 of us instead of just 1. So he would send 2, the 9-year-old and the 7-year-old, because it was a very rough neighborhood and we would be safer if there were 2 of us.
Wait, Tom, didn't I see this in the beginning of Goodfellas?
That is a true story. That is an absolute true story.
Oh
But go ahead, Gina, I'm sorry.
And everyone made it out alive?
We all survived it. We learned how to run very quickly, but we survived.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness. That is a fun and kind of scary fact. Tom attended Penn State University, where he graduated with honors and was the president of his fraternity, TKE. I don't know fraternity, so I think TKE. Yeah, he was also a member of the prestigious Skull and Bones Senior Honor Society. Attended St. John's University School of Law, where he was also honored as the editor-in-chief of the St. John's Law Review, and in which he published 2 articles on the law. After graduating from law school in 1983, he worked as a litigator for the large Wall Street firm Dewey Ballantine. There, he worked on large antitrust and construction litigation matters. Wow, this is quite an incredible bio. Oh, and by the way, he became the co-owner of a commercial flooring business dealing mainly with large commercial flooring projects in Manhattan. Business quickly grew into a multi-million-dollar construction enterprise, and he is now the executive director of medical review recovery at Callagy Law, where Mr. LaGreca, where Tom was largely responsible for legal initiative. And oh, by the way, he is an avid poker player.
Yes, and Tom has helped that division recover more than $400 million on behalf of medical providers. So Tom, welcome. And your poker nest is in the house. But Gina, there's more.
There is more. There's more. All right, so we have Josh Pollock. Josh is
the one and only Josh Pollock.
The one and only Josh Pollock, the one and only Josh Pollock. And he's the founder and managing director of Dynasty Media, a privately held firm focused on operating, advising, and managing established media, sports, and entertainment businesses with revenues that range from 10 million to over 10 billion. Wow. The company sources, qualifies, and engages in ventures where undervalued content and distribution opportunities exist. Areas of expertise include feature films, television, sports, professional sports, agencies, digital media, live events, video games, licensing, marketing, brand equity management, real estate tax credits, and financing solutions. Whew. To date, Mr. Pollock has successfully completed over 300 individual advisory and transactional assignments for the world's leading media-based investors. Among other valuable considerations, Josh created The Greatest in partnership with Time Inc. and subsequently launched 100 Greatest Moments in Sports with Sports Illustrated, as well as partnering with Forbes and its Under 30 franchise. Moreover, he led a bid to acquire Sports Illustrated with Tony Robbins, ABRY, and several other notable investors, and is currently a partner with Success Resources, the world's global leader in inspirational and aspirational content. Wow.
Josh Pollock.
Josh.
Dude, you not only all of that,
Holy
but we
moly.
had dinner last night. So
That's
Josh,
what I'm saying. That's my fun fact.
what is your fun fact, Josh?
I was trying to come up with it on the fly, so I'm going to go with the drug theme. And I started in the entertainment industry, and I want to say this appropriately, my fraternity brother, while we were in college, became the largest drug dealer. That's when marijuana was illegal in the history of the United States. And we told that story to a client named Nick Cassavetes, who definitely ripped it off and told Warner Brothers. And that's the first 45 minutes of the movie Blow with Johnny Depp. So that part is a lie, and they couldn't figure out how to start the story. So they took the kids from Ohio State's marijuana story and tagged it into the cocaine. I just thought that would be appropriate with your drug theme this morning. And I had nothing to do with it business-wise.
Josh, that is a top 3 all-time fun fact on the Real Raw.
Thank you.
Episode 235, top 3 fun fact all time. And maybe
by the way, the drug dealer kid is now a huge movie producer, so he figured it out too.
I love Josh Pollock. So, Josh, it was an honor to have dinner last night and talk about undervalued content and distribution to the world. A pleasure. And my fun fact is I'm going to try to cajole Josh later into perhaps jumping into the ocean for a little bit of surfing, but we'll see.
Sounds good to me.
All right, sir.
Incredible.
So thank you. Yeah, thank you for being here. Amazing. Gina, thank you. But wait, we have a role player, and he's got a heart on. He's got a heart on. Yes, Gina.
He does indeed. Every time I see him, he has a heart on. It's amazing. Our role player, Mr. Anil Gupta, overcame suicide in 2008 and has since then formulated the happiness formula, spoken on Fox News, Harvard, Sky TV, TEDx. He's written a bestseller book called Immediate Happiness and founded the Happiness Score. Anil's Perfect Partner program truly helps remove the blockages that prevent people from living fulfilled lives in just in just a matter of hours. I feel as though I'm missing something there, but you can let us know, Anil.
Yeah, so I want to welcome Al Machine Gun Nardi and Tom the Butcher LaGreco and Josh the Knife Pollock to the show.
Well, thank you, Anil. The love doctors in the house. And Anil, you've spoken on stages all over the planet. And so it's an honor and a privilege to have you here as the role player on The Real Raw today. And what's your fun fact, other than the fact that you gave me a clown nose that you made me put on after surfing and my nose was running into it, besides that?
I'm a certified prankster.
Anil Gupta, the certified prankster of The Real Raw. It's Fun Friday. Pranksters are in the house. Gina, you've done an incredible job. Thank you so much for being here. And Anil, are you ready to rock and roll with Brian and Josh, two amazing entrepreneurs rolling out there in the world?
Absolutely.
All right. Anita, Tom, Al, are you ready for a little judging and assessing of these two geniuses?
Ready.
All
Sure.
right. So let's go this way. Since Josh and I are like feet apart, yes. So let's go with Brian being the away team. Brian, I have a 1 or 2 under the table. What do you think it is, sir?
What's the question?
I have a 1 or a 2 under the table. What do you think it is? A 1 or a 2? It is a 2. So Josh has won the toss, and you can elect to go first or throw Brian right under the bus. Josh, what'll it be?
I am going with letting him go first.
Oh, there we
We'll
go.
take
All
the
right.
ball. We'll take the ball in the wind in the second half.
Excellent. All right. So
Josh, I like you.
Thank you.
Yep. So Brian, here's how it goes. This is a 6-minute conversation.
Yeah.
Broken up in half by a quick 3 call halfway that Anil will be having to take. So what's at stake is the superpower of influence and our ability to go from hello to yes with people.
Yeah.
And you're like, a yes about what? I'm not sure what I'm doing. Yeah, like an ideal client, an investor, an ecosystem merger, whatever it would be for you. Perhaps saying, hey, how do we bring Tony Robbins and Idea Lab together? How
He's left already.
Yeah. I'm sorry?
He left already. Oh, he's back.
Oh, okay. So, yeah.
And Neil stepped away for a second is all, Sean.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay. So, Brian, all of those require a yes in the world.
Okay.
And so Anil will be anybody that you want him to be to go from hello to yes with. So who would you like Anil to be? And your 6-minute going yes. Remember, it doesn't have to be a final yes. It could just be for a longer meeting. And the whole idea of this is that it's about heart-centered, authentic connection is what we're really assessing, not like Wolf of Wall Street meets Boiler Room. So who would you like Anil to be?
An investor.
Okay, awesome. Gina, is Anil back?
Anil is back and ready.
All right, you're an investor, Anil. Brian's ready to chat. You have 3 minutes, and then I'll have a quick phone call, and Anil will be back after that and take us in.
All right. Anil, I'm Brian Gennesco. How are you?
Hey, Brian, great to meet you. I've heard so much about you.
Yeah, likewise. I have to say I'm very enamored with your heart.
Well, I see you have one behind you too.
Yeah. It's something that's very central to how I operate. I've read a little bit of research about you. I'm really excited to have the opportunity to talk a little bit about my business with you, but I do believe in establishing a relationship and getting to know folks a little bit. So I hope if that's okay with you, I'd love to tell you a little bit about myself, and I'd love to learn a little bit more about you.
Sure. Tell me more about you.
Yeah. So I grew up in Wisconsin, and I got the entrepreneurial bug when I was in high school, more out of necessity because I had to pay for college. And I ultimately went to Marquette University, where I learned the value of service and giving back. And that stuck with me ever since then. And I then ultimately, after graduating, I took a bus to New York and literally got off when I was 22 years old and didn't know anyone, had a credit card, $5,000 limit. And that's how I began my life in the city. Ultimately, though, I love people. I love experiences. And I was able to make my way into a back door to JP Morgan, where I was an analyst and rose a little bit. And after business school, got the bug to really do something meaningful. And that's where I launched New Kitchen, which was the first online meal delivery service that I ultimately built and sold to New Kitchen, Nutrisystem, the weight loss company. And, you know, during that journey, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about helping people. We were in the South Bronx, and we really helped people eat better. We were working on 167th and Grand Concourse, and there were a lot of people who didn't have access to fresh fruit and vegetables. And what I learned during that is that need to serve and being able to help people. So for every meal we sold, we're able to provide meals to those in need in the local community. So for me, service has been a part of who I am. So I share all this with you just because I want you to understand a little bit about my why and where I'm coming from and why I wanted to meet you today, because I think we share a lot in common.
You know, Brian, we do. I once took a bus from London to Athens, and I didn't poop for 2 days because I didn't want to use someone else's toilet. So we have something in common. But I had a return ticket. I had a return ticket.
Yeah. So I also have a London story. I don't know if you're familiar with Ipswich, but my mother was born and raised in Suffolk. And so I was able to spend a little time during the summer working there while I was in college. And so I didn't take a round trip to Athens, but I did get to spend some time in London.
So Brian, do you know what Adnams is?
No.
It's the local beer in Ipswich. It's amazing.
Oh, Abner, Abner. Yes, 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 yes.
There you go. We have more things in common.
And after a couple of them, I'm sure I could share a few more stories with you. But the whole idea behind wanting to connect with you was more about your heart-centered nature. Can you talk to me a little bit about what you look for when you invest with early stage entrepreneurs?
I'm looking for conscious investments. I want you to make money, but I want you to help the planet. Make it eco-friendly, people-friendly, and really serve people and have great people working for you, not just for the money, but the impact you're going to be. I want impactful businesses to invest in.
Excuse me, Anil, you have a quick phone call. I'm going to bounce back in a minute, okay?
Sorry about that, Brian. You've got 30 seconds.
No, we're going to pause there. So he'll be right back.
Okay.
Brian,
Right.
Yeah, awesome. So Brian, how was that for you?
I think it was actually really genuine. I was trying to look for a place to connect with him and meet him at where I thought he would connect with me and understand and get to know me a little better. I believe establishing a relationship is critical if you don't know somebody, so that you can establish credibility, authenticity. I didn't get to an ask. I didn't get to, actually making the investment, but I don't think it was appropriate at that particular moment. I didn't want it to feel rushed. I felt we were getting to know each other and we were just actually starting to get somewhere.
Yeah, he's going to be right back from that phone call in a moment. So great job. That's the first half. Anil, if you had one word to assess the connection with Brian, what would that be?
It's poor.
I'm sorry?
Very poor.
Very poor. Okay, we'll see round two. Josh, how are you, sir? And are you ready to go?
Great. Yes. I just have a quick question. So Anil can be anybody that I want, but do I tell him who I want him to be, or I pitch him my idea?
You tell him who you want him to be, and then you go from ODS about whatever it is. He can be an avatar or a specific himself, an avatar for anybody else. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go with the same theme. I like Brian's idea that Anil's an investor, but he's going to be an investor in media, sports, and entertainment. And he writes checks of $10 million and up.
Awesome.
So he's a smart guy.
All right, Anil, take us in.
Hey, Josh, how are you?
Amazing. How are you?
Amazing too. I love that. We're connected already.
Well, we're connected because a British person taught me to say amazing, because I don't know why everything you guys say sounds better than us, but this girl I know, every time I ask her how you doing, she says amazing. So now
That's
I just
amazing.
say amazing all those. It's amazing. Everything's amazing. And fantastic with you guys, right? So thanks a lot for talking to me today. I don't know if you completely understand why we're on the phone, but I work in the media, sports, and entertainment business. And one of my businesses is live events. And obviously, because of the pandemic, the live events are shut down. So, we've been pivoting pretty aggressively, and we're going to put the live events up, digitally. And obviously, you're seeing a lot of this stuff around. Our strategy, Anil, is basically to go with big name people who have large audiences. Some people are familiar with guys like Tony Robbins or Sean Callagy or Gary Vaynerchuk or well-known people. We're going to throw those guys up online. We're going to let them do their spiel, let them talk for free. We're actually going to spend a few bucks marketing their stuff. And then our core business of making money is actually selling through the programs. So, if Sean talks about, going from hello to yes, we would spend money buying ads on Instagram or Facebook. It's been pretty cool. We've been doing it during the pandemic, and we basically know, for every dollar we spend, we sort of get a 6 times return. So we're at, meeting you today, and obviously I can answer any of your questions, but we're looking for additional investment. And we found with the 6 times return, that basically means that for every dollar we spend, 6 times the amount of people show up, about half of them register, and about 10% of them actually pay for the stuff. And, you know, I can send you like a little financial model, but at the end of the day, the thing we're learning the most is we got to get these people to show up, get them engaged, and then get them into groups, sort of like whether that's through the video chat or the WeChat or the WhatsApp. But at the end of the day, we're finding, since people are, you know, really needing connections, that they're sort of interested in a bunch of stuff. I know we only have a couple minutes, but that's sort of the, you know, the expanded one-liner of why I was calling you.
You know, I like the numbers. Have you got any commitments yet?
Yeah, we actually have commitments from the biggest talent, like the guys that we named, and we've been funding this ourselves. So we're frankly looking for a partner in the deal. You know, last year, this company, and I don't think that you can count it as apples to apples, did about 520 live events around the world and $100 million in revenues with about 15% of free cash. So about 15 million bucks. We've been using a couple of that $15 million to learn how to put these events up now. So while your group is writing checks of 10 million and up, you know, we have commitments from us and a couple other partners that I obviously would be happy to tell you about.
Was
Hey,
that Veronica and Richard?
Anil, you're going to take a quick pause and come back right there. Josh, excellent job. Great energetic transference, congruence. How'd that feel for you, Josh?
Great. He's a cool guy.
As are you, sir. And Brian, of course. Yeah. So Anil, how would you assess that interaction?
I would have liked more connection, you know, ask me more questions.
All right. Awesome. Coming back round 2 shortly, but let's see what the judges have to say about it. Tom LaGreca, we're going to go 30 seconds of feedback. You have for Brian, and then 30 seconds for Josh, and maybe 15 seconds on what worked, 15 seconds what might be optimized. So Tom, what do you have for Brian?
Okay, Brian, I thought your genuineness and sincerity were off the charts. I thought they were great. What I would suggest is you don't have to say you want to get to meet somebody and get to know somebody. Just do it. You know what I mean? So introducing the rapport building by saying I'd like to build rapport kind of takes away from the genuineness of the rapport building. And you were very genuine, so there's no need to say that. Okay, that's the first thing. Also, when you were developing the rapport, you started with talking about yourself, and I would have turned that around and got Anil to speak first about himself and to see where that would take you. All right, and I think the rapport building might have been a little more effective that way. Okay, as far as Joshua goes, great energy, great confidence. But I will say, you know, the only rapport building you did was having use of the word amazing in common. And then you jumped right to agreement formation, which I think was just moving way too quickly to the outcome rather than building rapport, finding out what would motivate Anil, and then trying to establish your own unique identity in support of that.
So Tom, what did you have for scores round 1?
What, Sean?
What did you have for scores on a scale of 1 to 10 in round 1?
1 to 10, I would say I'd give Brian a 7 and probably Joshua a 5.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
for the reasons I gave. I think Joshua could have been so much more effective if he didn't skip from a very brief emotional rapport right to the agreement formation.
Got it. Okay, thank you. Al, what do you have, sir?
I think Brian did a really good job painting a picture of his background to try and connect. I think it's a very hard thing to do with a short amount of time, but I also think the segue into what this investor was looking for in differentiating the company would have been the next best step to be able to point out why you're different and try and connect on some level that way. But overall, I think you did a great job. Joshua as well, I think you did a good job going through what your company does background wise and how you're able to strategize. I think there was a lot less connection there in the beginning that probably was needed, but also on the same token, I think that there needed to be more differentiation about you versus your competitors, why this investor would want to invest in you versus anybody else in the media entertainment business.
Excellent. So what'd you have for scores, Al?
I think I would go with 7 for Brian as well, and 6 for Joshua.
All right. Thank you. Anita, what did you have and how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you, and that was excellent. I just want to say that Al and Tom, we must be like this, because Al, you hit every one of my points. With Brian, the part about I want to connect with you, leave that out. And I get excited and I get nervous and I say that too, and I get called on it often. So leave those out of your vocabulary. And when you're telling about yourself, you hit some really good points, but you elaborated on them a little bit too much. Maybe it came from eating all those Big Macs.
Sorry, I told that. Oh no.
You want to give smaller bites, but it was great that you gave info about you, you asked about him, went back and forth. That was excellent. And then I also gave Brian a 7. And then for Josh, the knowing about the word amazing, I say amazing all the time. As a matter of fact, I'm known for saying amazeballs a lot. In the right form, that goes well, like this, right? It's very casual. I did not know that that was a British thing, and I'm glad you taught me that. But you went from that 0 to 60 like this, and whoa, a lot. You gave a lot of information, which was good, pertinent information, but you didn't ask anything in between there. You just unloaded on him. Ask him a question in between there to keep him interested, keep him relating, is my advice. And I gave you a 6.
All right. Let's go to round 2.
Sean, quick drop in, Sean. I'll keep it fast. I know we're running a little behind.
Yeah, the one and only Adam Gugino. Yes, this man managed 50 million to 100 million cold calls per year. Took his last company from 3.5 million to $750 million in revenue, Inc. 500 magazine, 3 consecutive years. And he likes to play pickleball with old people on oxygen. Adam Gugino, what's up?
Yes, thank you so much. And I walked away from millions to be here with you because of this formula. And I am, yes, both Brian and Joshua, I would have liked some more emotional rapport building. However, their certainty, their congruence, and the compelling identity that they created, Brian a little more heart-centered, and, Joshua just, name dropping some incredible people, obviously. But either way, the gravitational pull to both of them was incredible. No doubt why they're so successful. But yeah. I would agree with the judges that, more connection, more questions would have been something that would have been definitely better.
So when we talk about integrity-based human influence, thank you, Adam. And I honor what Al, Tom, Anita shared. It's like somebody's swing in baseball, right? People could be so phenomenally good. Somebody could be so strong that they could get away with coming a little forward on a curveball, right? Somebody could be so good at tennis, they could be so fast that they can make up for certain things and how they, do other things. So the level of certainty that comes off of Josh is extraordinary. He is one of the most certain people conveying this sort of awesome Zeus energy to me around the entire dynamic, like this almost alternate reality level of energy. And that's a superpower. And that's the superpower of influence, and obviously why he's been so successful and could roll with some of the people we're talking about. Brian, I find, similarly has a different level of Zeus energy in his presentation. By Zeus energy, we don't mean power only, we mean decisiveness, creativity, clarity, certainty. And it's just this it's a quieter version of it, but you're not, to me, I'm not confused that what Brian is saying is absolutely what is and will happen. And I agree with Adam. So the rapport build is, essential dynamic, and that certainty, regardless of how much rapport you build, without that level of certainty, there would be a massive deficit. So I thought it was both outstanding and appreciate all the feedback and everything. So Josh, are you ready for round 2, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's step back into the alternate reality world, sir, that you create. So please take us in.
How long do we have?
3 minutes.
And
no problem.
Are we just redoing what we did with this
Nope.
feedback in mind, or is it?
We take it from where we paused. So Anil is saying, "Oh, I'm back. I took that quick phone call. Sorry for the interruption.
Okay.
Now I'm back."
Okay.
Yeah. So please, Josh. Yeah.
Hi, Anil.
Hey, Josh, I apologize for that. It's crazy here.
Don't sweat it. So I know you know a little bit about what we do, and can you tell me a little bit about your firm and how you sort of evaluate investments?
You know, I'm a people person. I like to get to know people. Their integrity is very important to me. But Josh, I have a question for you.
Yes,
I
sir.
know you're going to do this event, but how else could you monetize it?
How else can we monetize the digital events?
Yeah.
So we monetize it through not only ticket sales, but then selling people programs, Anil. And we have found that the majority of our clients or our customers usually come in the door. For example, they want to learn how to grow their business. And by the time we're done with them, we understand that they want to learn how to grow their life. So we have programs around health and wellness and love and relationships and business building. And at the end of the day, we are able to monetize it by taking a client through sort of all facets of their lives. But effectively, we monetize it by teaching them the skills and then helping coach them through to success.
Okay. Do you have any extra merchandising, clothes, books, things like that you could upsell them or downsell them? Or
Yes, I'm sorry I left that out. We sell them books, we sell them merchandise, we sell them literally everything that you can think of. But at the core of it is really how to teach people how to help themselves and give them the skills. It's all about the program and the coaching.
You know, I'm a big fan of this because, you know, you could dominate the industry because no one else is doing it. No one has the skills to do it. No one has the following to do it. And, you know, you guys could kill this.
That's I really appreciate you saying that. You know, from being in the content business, I've never seen a bigger opportunity in all of content, you know, than self-education. I don't understand why Disney and Discovery and other big companies really haven't focused on it. And just me, you know, I'm going on Netflix and I can't sort of find what I need. So we see a huge opportunity. But are you a fan of this content? Do you sort of participate with any of these coaches or use any of this stuff to sort of further your own life, or you're not really interested in that stuff?
You know, I'm not a big fan, but I'm a raving fan.
What does that mean?
I believe in this. You know, I've been subject to it, and I never knew that what was possible just by a few conversations with human beings. And
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. Disney is supposed to be the happy place, but it's not. They're having issues. Google are having issues. So I'm a big fan. And this is the fastest way to get out there. And there's no other way. I'm a big fan. And I'd
so
like to look at the numbers.
Yeah, sure. At the end of the day, you're an investor, right? So you have got to figure out ways to find good deals and evaluate them. And, you know, personally, I've spent a lot of time in the investment business. You know, it really boils down to a people business. So while we have to get to know each other better, you know, at the end of the day, I'm a big believer in these products. And, you know, obviously you have to have a certain amount of integrity, but you know, our stuff sort of sells itself because we partner with the best teachers in the world. Does that sort of make sense?
It does. And you know what I like is the continuity. It's not just a one-off deal. There's other deals that could be had along the line. Membership sites, all sorts of things.
Yes, and to seek your investment, we'd obviously be doing it with a slate of talent across multiple genres. So like I said, you know, some of the stuff is geared towards females and housewives, which tend to be our fastest growing segment. Other of the stuff is geared towards professionals. So it's been super cool to see you know, it was very difficult to switch from a live event to an online model, but it's been super cool to see, you know, how quickly people have adopted it. And frankly, our costs have been cut by about 80% by not having to run the live events.
Yeah, and you're going to the right people. Women make the right decisions. They make the financial decisions, and the professionals make the financial
Last 10
decisions. So
seconds.
I like where you're going.
Thanks, man. So if it's cool with you, I'm going to send you some projections. All you really have to do is look at the first page and the last page. First page is going to explain the deal. The last page is going to explain the numbers. We're targeting about 18 to 22% returns. And, you know, I'll list the other partners that you wanted to know about, and you can talk to them. And obviously, I'd love to get to know you better.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is perfect.
You're the man. Talk to you soon.
Great job, Josh. How'd that feel
Thanks.
for you?
Cool.
Okay. Anil, how was that for you?
Yeah, very connected. I enjoy that.
Yeah, super cool. All right, Brian, Neil's back. You ready for round two?
Round two, ready to go.
Take us in,
Hey,
please.
Hey, Brian.
Hey,
Sorry
Anil.
about that.
Yeah, no worries, Anil. If it's all right with you, I'd like to talk a little bit about Unbelievable, my business model that I just launched recently.
Are they the biscuits?
We launched as a cookie company originally. We've created these all natural, non-GMO cookies that are absolutely delicious, but you can feel good while you're eating them because for every one we sell, we provide a meal to someone in need. I'd like to say that during COVID, according to Feeding America, over 54 million Americans are food insecure. There's no more pressing problem. This is something that so many people in the world, in particular America, it's a top concern. And so for us at Unbelievable, we want to address this. And already we've donated over 100 meals for over 100,000 people this year alone. We just launched the company, and in less than 6 months, we grew to over $1 million a year run rate. So we feel really good about creating a product that you can feel good about eating because it's made with better for you ingredients, knowing that you're also helping to feed someone in need.
Are these the same cookies that were at Business Mastery in Florida 6 months ago?
Absolutely. We
Well,
did.
you know
we
what?
launched initially with,
You know what?
I talked to you.
I think we did. And
I talked to you.
You have great staff, very helpful, very caring, and I like that. Yeah. And I actually did a survey. I surveyed the people who were tasting them, and I was very impressed.
Fantastic. I appreciate that. You do your homework. And one of the key reasons why we wanted to reach out to you, Anil, is because of your network. Because as we seek this next round of investment, what's important for us is that we connect not only with like-minded people, but people who have access to incredible networks to help us expand and grow. Because the bigger we become, the more people we can serve. We started this business because it's a for-profit social venture, but we know that by investing and donating meals and a percentage of proceeds to provide meals to those in need, to those people in need, we not only can help solve the hunger crisis, but we can enact programs to help get people out of soup kitchens. So we've got a two-pronged effort. So we're very excited about that, and I think it's something you can connect with. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. You know, I'm very concerned about the SAD diet because it is sad, and this would help. Absolutely, very, very interested.
One thing that we've noticed, people care about where their dollar goes. People are willing to spend money on products that they know align with their core values. And we've surveyed our customers, and that mission is foremost, and it's at the forefront of what they care about most. Knowing that their dollar can have impact, knowing that when you're eating this cookie, you're feeding somebody.
Would you be amenable to helping people in Africa?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, we've been exploring a program through World Vision on just that. Did you know that for just $1 a day, you can help 10 people get access to clean drinking water?
Wow.
So
Yeah.
as we look to expand our brand, while we may have launched with cookies that you sampled at Business Mastery, we have a host of other products. We've actually developed a platform. Our goal is to not just sell cookies, but to become a platform for all makers of artisanal products, to become the Amazon of the mission-based marketplace. That is our ultimate objective. So what we want to do with some of the money that we intend to raise is to build out this platform. We have created a model where we think we can grow to $100 million plus in about 5 years. We think we can deliver healthy returns. We're very similar to Bombas. Bombas socks, if you're familiar, also have a give back one-for-one model. Warby Parker, all of these companies have grown into multi-billion-dollar valuations. So not only are they doing good for the world, but they're doing good by investors and all the stakeholders in their purview.
Have you ever thought of working with Tom's or anyone like that?
Absolutely. And Tom's has developed a marketplace model, and we want to learn from them. So Anil, I would love to be able to follow up with you, providing more projections. Would you like that?
You know, as long as you're investing in Africa, that's where I was born. I'd be very interested.
Thank you for your time.
All right. Brian, awesome job, brother. How'd that feel for you?
I got a little nervous. I pitch all the time. I think it's a little bit different. I have the first half, the first 3 minutes was really focused on trying to develop a rapport. The second piece was really trying to convey the business and convey why I'm doing it, but also convey that it is a real business with growth potential, but we're still trying to solve a wicked problem.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so could I drop in a couple of quick thoughts on that? Brian, would that be cool for you?
Please.
Yeah, okay. So perhaps let's go this way. So Brian, how about you're a potential investor and you, Brian? How about your name is John? Does that work?
Okay. John.
Yeah. Yeah. So, hey, John, thanks so much for coming by, dude. It was amazing seeing you at Date with Destiny and all the craziness and the energy of it. How was the event for you, John?
The event was fantastic. I came away unlocking massive potential.
Yeah, cool. And what brought you to a Tony Robbins event in the first place?
I went through a rough period in my life and I was let go of my job and I broke up with my partner and I wanted to figure out what was next. And I know I have something in me. I just couldn't figure out what it was or what it is.
I'm so sorry. And post Date with Destiny though, like what's present for you? How did all that get reconciled or not?
Well, it made me focus on what's real. I had to take a step back and just take a breath, be present, and really take responsibility for my actions. I found myself, I was blaming people for things that were going wrong and I was angry. And I think the first step was just becoming aware and accepting responsibility for my actions.
Wow. So I'm so sorry to hear about your job and your relationship, but a lot of folks come out on the other side of Date with Destiny. They go in very similar to you with major life disruption and come out on the other side with some new level of certainty and clarity. It sounds like that's just begun for you. So I honor that. I acknowledge your openness and vulnerability because most people won't even take a step towards confronting themselves. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, appreciate it. So, and thank you also for buying some unbelievable cookies. Appreciate it enormously. And I know you talked about your position, but I also know that you said you represent in your family office and work that you guys are up to. And I just want to know, I know we about have a minute and a half to go, if we could step into a space of understanding a little bit more about that. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
So,
Thank you.
and so in doing that, what types of, yeah, what types of things do you look at on behalf of your family office? Like what's the mission? What's the purpose? Obviously I know it's to like keep and grow your money. But what types of things are you looking to invest in and really why? Like I'm a lot more interested, John, in why.
That's a great question. And before Date with Destiny, I would have told you one thing. Now that I've finished that program alongside you, we've got more purpose. We're going to think about what we're investing in more critically. We want to invest in the founders. We want to invest in the founders who have a belief in what's possible, a belief in solving problems. So you've gone through this, so you understand a little bit about what we're going through. And I think you are a like-minded person, and we would love to explore our relationship a little bit further.
Yeah, so thank you. So my last 30 seconds, I would leave you at this and then make a quick request or proposal. So as I think you know, Tony Robbins is a part of this. And Tony is a person of mission and impact, and I am as well. So my background, which I will condense to this, everything I stand for in the world, from the time I got off of a bus coming to New York City with nothing, I had to eat 6 Big Macs to get $500 for rent money, through today and creating this company and others for global impact, is all about why. Everything I do is about why. And what's happening here with Nunbelievables, not to use a pun, is really unbelievable. We're creating 1-for-1 giveaway, as I think you know, to create impact and feed the hungry around the world, while this company is accelerating extraordinary rates through investor capital and through incredible strategic partnerships. So if that sounds like something that's interesting to you to spend maybe 15 minutes on a separate call, I'd love to share more. How would that sound to you, John?
That's great. I would love that.
All right, pause. So Brian, how'd that feel for you? How I utilize?
Oh my God, Sean, I'm so connected to you and your style and the quietude with which you delivered that. it was very, very powerful. You know, I am a little nervous. I will admit that, and I tend to speak more. And I need to take my own advice of taking a breath. But I love that connection that you've now made. So I think of how I could have applied that with Anil, who said I was at Business Mastery. I was there, and we all were charged at that, and that was an amazing connection point that I don't feel I leveraged well enough.
Yeah, and if I could offer one distinction with the most immense amount of humility, because I believe this, and this is the core distinction of the Real Raw. You know, I had it goes like this: once people are great at something, that's when all acceleration begins, I believe. So like between like not good and very good, there's not a lot of difference. It's like once great is in play, then you have Josh and $10 billion investments, right? Then you have Tony Robbins, then you have Bill Gross, then you have Peter Gruber, then you have these types of dynamics going. You have Loeb, right? And so when I think about influence, I think about it in the way I think about everything else, and I correlate it interestingly and mathematically to how money works. You know, if you're in the 99th percentile in income, you make $400,000, 99.9, 1.7 million, 99.99, 7.8 million, 99.999, you make 56 million a year. And people talk about the top 1% as though it's the same thing. And if you're in the 99th percentile versus 99.99, you're 120x less per year, and that compounds over time when you think about disposable income exponentially. So the differential in that top 1% of micro distinctions creates extraordinary compounding effects. It's why somebody may grab a microphone and say, hey, it'd be wonderful to raise $500,000, and instead you raise 1.7 million, in 26 minutes, which I had the privilege of co-creating after Sage spoke at the financial event in Idaho to free people from sex trafficking, right? And so these micro distinctions create, 10 sales or 1,000 sales. They create people booking one appointment or no appointments and 40 appointments a month, compounding over time. And that's what we're here to explore. So thank you for the acknowledgement, and you're incredible and amazing. And these micro distinctions around concepts like leverage and pitch, they carry emotional dynamics, I believe. And so, and I don't in any way, shape, or form, right, cast any judgment. My mission is to not judge people in any way, right? But I do try to think about the optimal dynamics of how our language serves us, and our energy. You're an energy person, and everybody here is. We're built on energy. We function on energy. And I think about the vibration of language. And so one of the things that I began in the transition into my Integris acceleration in business development selling is I thought about, when people talk about closing, and I honor the work of so many, and they'd be like, closing, closing, closing. And there'd be books on closing and talking about closing. I'm like, it just feels wrong. Like if I close this and say, wow, I think I did great today. I think I really closed Brian. Like, how would you feel about me? How would anybody feel about me? And my hallucination is probably pretty badly, So words like pitch, hook, close, leverage, even like prospect, lead, the objectification, the taking, anything that like rings of manipulation, that's one of the things we're standing for as an opportunity to reconsider in how language serves Integris influence. So I offer that as a thought. It's not the only thought that's here. There's many, but we have a short time, and that came up for me. So I don't know, how does that resonate for you, Brian?
Obviously, I connect with the language very much. My nature is, as a relator, I want to use language that doesn't come across as manipulative, that comes across as genuine. I would prefer to build a strong relationship before anything else. And again, I was in awe. You were talking to me. I forgot I was John for a minute, while you were talking and you were building that up, because that's something I very much related to. But on the flip side too, I'd also love to add, Anil, at Business Mastery, we fed 10,000 people. We partnered during that event with Joshua's Heart Foundation, and then we volunteered. You know how exciting that was? And this energy we had at that moment, you talk to me at any moment during those 3 or 4 days, I was on fire, and we were doing so much, and we exceeded our goals. That was a pretty awesome time. So I think what's really kind of what I'm hearing in this forum where we're at, the approach you're taking is so perfect for building that one-on-one, that connection, that rapport. And then I think about when we're on stage or we're out in front of a crowd or we're delivering, to create that influence in such a bigger way. And that's where I was on fire. And I felt that. And I remember you, Anil. So you did ask a lot of questions back then. So thank you for that. And thank you for today.
And thank you. And I know we're a little bit over. And Brian, here's the critical distinction. You are incredibly congruent, phenomenally integrous. It just resonates, right? And I don't think you've ever pitched anyone in your life, right? I think you reveal truth to people. I think you offer opportunities you know to be phenomenal opportunities. And so it's like these micro distinctions of how we relate to what we're doing that have these micro impacts. Because I don't believe you've ever closed anybody or pitched anybody. I think you formed agreements with people. You moved investment forward. You're creating impact in the world every day in every way. And just the thought of how you think about what you're doing and how we all think about what we're doing and going from hello to yes with integrity. Because you have every element of integrity and you are remarkable. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I know we're running long and we're going to bring it home. So Anita, what say you about all this, and maybe quick combined feedback for Josh and Brian in this round too?
Both of you took every bit of judging and put it to use. That was impressive. So Josh went first, and you repeating the question that when he asked you was great. You made sure you knew exactly what he needed to know. You let him ask more. And at the end, boy, you bumped yourself up to a 9.3 in my book when you followed up with his plan of action. You told him what you need from him next without saying, I need you, because you don't want to say, I need you. That was so great. He knows now what to expect and he's wanting to do it. And then with Brian, that was excellent. I gave you a 9.6 because you at the end elaborated what your mission was about, and it was mind-blowing. Congratulations. That was awesome.
Awesome. Anita, thank you for being here today. How was today for you?
Wonderful. What a learning experience for me. I'm sitting here judging you guys, but I'm the one that needs to learn it all. So it's just great. And I can feel the nerves because I'm the same way. It's excitement, it's nervous, it's energetic. It's a lot like being at a UPW.
Yeah, and I want to acknowledge again, Josh and Brian, because they don't have to do this, obviously. And their courage and vulnerability of stepping forward and impacting, inspiring, teaching, and we learn from each other. So again, thank you to them. Al, what say you, brother? Quick round of feedback for Brian and Josh. And yeah, how was today for you?
Brian and Josh, I think you both did excellent in using the same information from the judges in the first session. I think with Josh, what really struck me was that you knew the investor was a people person, and the reactions you were able to get out were things like raving fan and then continuity, and then you circled back with the potential return on investment to try and get that to formulate to an agreement. So I thought that was impressive. With Brian, I think you appealed to this investor's sense of social justice and equality and really tied that back to your current company and your strategy and your goals and visions. And I thought that really helped connect with someone who wanted to invest in services that were giving back. So I think you both did a great job. And I went with a 9 for you both on this.
Awesome. And Al, how'd you feel about the Real Raw today?
I think this is a really interesting opportunity and really thankful to be here. And I feel the same way with that Anita does. And I'm taking more notes to learn from everybody here than I am trying to judge, but I tried to do my best to play the role.
All right. Awesome job, man. Thank you so much. Tom LaGreca, quick round of feedback, and thanks, Tom, so much for being here today.
Yes, let me just say, let me just repeat. I mean, the knowledge base for both of you, the energy level, the confidence, just off the charts, just phenomenal. But I want to make one overarching comment that might be an indication that it might be a sign of something, and it's really for both of you. Of the three of you, the one that I learned the least about was Anil. I feel like I don't know anything about Anil, yet I'm so convinced that Brian and Josh are great at what they do, and that I would do business with them in a heartbeat. But I know the least about Anil among the three of you, And that just may be an indication that maybe you should just keep that in mind, because we should know more about Anil, because he was the one that you guys were trying to elicit business from. Just kind of a word of advice.
Tom McGreca, thank you. Yes, and appreciate that very much. Much to do from here. Thank you. Happy Fun Friday. Brian, thanks so much. As we take it home, how was today for you?
You know what, you said we don't have to be here, and I think the universe brings us here all for a certain reason. You know, I work hard, and as you know, we try to make a difference, and being part of your network and your ecosystem is a very important part of the process. I'm very happy and grateful to be here today. I've learned a lot, and I'm humbled, to be honest, from the experience, because I am often in the judge's seat or I'm in a different place. So for me to be here and to get your feedback, it's, you know, a lot of it's critical, and to hear, you know, certain things that are positive and negative, I want to embrace all of that because I am open to that feedback. So I do appreciate it, and I respect where all of you are coming from, and I am eternally grateful. So thank you for that.
And will you eat 6 Big Macs this weekend?
Never, never. And I'm so sorry I said that story. I've got other fun facts that came to my head first.
Do not be.
Yeah.
That's why we have fun here. Josh, thank you. Josh, thank you so much. I've learned so much from you already. I continue to learn. I am looking forward to learning more from you on this very day. And I look forward to getting together later. How was today for you?
It's super fun, and I echo what Brian said. It's great to get coaching, especially when you're given a lot of coaching. I just want to say to the judges and everyone else, I didn't really have a pitch set up or a business, so that was a little on the fly. And I understand what you were telling me, you know, from the first time to the second time. It's just the rhythm of what I do. You know, when you're soliciting larger dollars, the investors are usually pre-qualified. And I don't know if this will help you guys or hurt you guys moving forward. And you do really have to build a rapport. I'm a people person at the end of the day, but I'm sort of like, I'm almost interviewing them as much as they're interviewing me, right? So, you know, I was trying to say to Anil in the beginning, like, hey, man, this is what we do. I was trying to get through that in the first 3 minutes, and then saying in the second one, you know, okay, tell me a little bit more about yourself. But at the end of the day, I don't want to say that, you know, it's nothing against Anil or most investors. It's just like, you got to talk to a lot of people to find that thing. So you're almost like, yeah, let me get it out of the way and send you the thing. You know what I mean? Right. So at the end of the day, though, I really like that what you guys were saying, which was basically, hey, make a deeper connection. I totally buy that. And I think that at the end of the, when you're doing business with people, it's like your family. You're around them all the time. So you really do have to have a deep connection with them, or you're headed for disaster.
Yeah.
Josh, could I add, Josh, I'm really, I love your confidence, man. I think it's totally inspiring, and I would buy whatever you're selling.
Yeah.
Oh, I appreciate that. You
And
know,
Josh,
to what, I'm sorry, to what Sean said, I don't think I've ever quote unquote sold anybody anything in my life. So I'm not real good at sales, right? But I do know my shit. I don't know a lot of shit, but I know my shit. So and I take a lot of pride in that. And then you find people that want to jump on, and you know, I think that's the one thing I missed that you guys were coaching. If I can find a way for Anil to forget about the money and sort of add value himself with his firm, which I didn't ask and I probably should have, you know, then I think you got a good partner there.
Awesome. And just for fun, Josh, one more time, can you, in the 1-minute version, explain what you impacted the Buffalo Sabres, was it, or no, or the NHL?
I helped sell the Sabres. I was a kid, and my family we sat behind the bench. And I think what Sean's getting at is I just woke up one morning and I'm like, that team's bankrupt, and I'm going to go figure out how to sell the team. So I was too young and too dumb to hear no. I found myself to the commissioner's office. But at the end of the day, it's the same things that we're doing here. Yes, there was a little bit of, there was a lot of certainty that I love the Buffalo Sabres, but you know, anything I've ever done has very little to do with me. It's usually a big idea or a big theme or a big property, and it was either screwed up or I thought I could add value, and then I say, oh, I want to go do that. And like I said, I'm a little thick, so I just keep going until someone says you can't do that. And that's usually when you're going to get close.
Awesome. Thanks, Josh, so much for
All
being
right.
here. I will see you
Thank you.
shortly, and please throw the bathing suit on, and we'll just jump into the 8-10 foot waves. Thank you. And I'm only
Okay, man.
all
It's
right.
on.
Awesome.
Bye.
Anil,
Thanks.
thank you. Beautiful. Anil, final.
No, I'm honored to meet you, and I see significant changes, impact being made just from a few conversations today. So thank you for the honor.
All right. Love you, brother. Love that you have a heart on at all times.